to meet you, Crystal.
You as well, Marguerite.
Thank you for being a guest on the show. Now, before we get started, if you don't mind, I would just like to read your bio. So our guest.
Sure.
Yes, I'm Marguerite Fair. This is Laughter Talks, and we are here with lovely Crystal. And let me tell you about her. This is a real treat. Now, Crystal Cuvee has been dancing on stage all her life and fell in love with burlesque early on, and the power it gives to women, which is very important. Now, she teaches and performs internationally, sharing tips and techniques that make burlesque accessible and fun. And I'm all for fun. Woo woo. Now, she was recently selected to choreograph all the dance numbers for the upcoming New Zealand live musical version of the film Burlesque. Congratulations, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Now, whether it's an online class in the privacy of your own home, and safety also, or a group workshop, bachelorette or hen party, girls' night out, or a private lesson, you are guaranteed to have a good time, learn some sexy moves, and leave with a few ideas to pull out and use when inspiration. Well, I say kudos to you, girl. I thank you so much for reaching out to me, and I'm just excited. And what I always like to do now, and you are lovely.
Thank you so much.
Website, and we'll share that address with everyone. Tell us your website address. I just like to print it, but sometimes when people hear it, because some people listen.
Right. Yes. So I believe it's crystalcuveeburlesque.podia.com is the whole thing. Yeah, because it's a wonderful site actually for anyone who does online courses. It's really well done. Little props to Podia there, I guess, but yeah.
That's why I wanted to mention that first, because tell us, share how you happened to land into this, Crystal.
Well, the dancing, obviously, I started as a child. My mum was a dance instructor. So yeah, as that goes, you have no choice. You always go to the studio with your mother and end up being in ballet at 2 and, going on to do it pretty much the rest of your life, usually, if it, hits you. And then I did a lot of Bob Fosse inspired jazz courses. And for those who don't know choreographers, Bob Fosse is responsible for Chicago and a lot of the really popular cabaret, musicals that are very sexy. And he kind of tweaked jazz dancing as we knew it at the time. And the reason he did this was his mum was a burlesque dancer. So he grew up backstage at burlesque houses. And so he was very influenced by the movements and the timing and the playfulness and, that wonderful sense of the wink and the smile, sensuality, but with a bit of a sense of humor behind it.
I love his work. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that's how I got into burlesque.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when COVID hit, the things I normally did in person, I thought, well, why not do things online? Because that's what we're doing now, right? I miss my own dance classes. As a performer, you take classes.
This is really very timely for something like this. And people are starting to enjoy it because they can do it at their own pace. You don't have to get in and drive around. You just go through at a certain time, and it's wonderful. Now, before we go any further, I did have you send me a couple of clips. I know you're going to show us some moves, but I would just like to take a minute and let our audience see the clips that you did send so they can get an idea of what they're in for. Let's watch this. Everybody, I've got something to show you. Let's watch this.
Hi, I'm Crystal Cuvee, and welcome to Beginning Burlesque. I'm so glad you could join us. We're going to have a lot of fun in this class. Now, you might have noticed I'm standing in my foyer, in my own home. I wanted to do it here, in this space, to show you that you can actually do this at home. And we're just going to start with a few easy big breaths and a stretch. And really feel a stretch here. Now, what I want you to do is try and turn your hips to face the wall. You'll get a much better stretch here, like that. Faster. Ooh, the girls get going when you go faster, but that is kind of the idea, isn't it? Quite nice when you're doing it to the back, especially if you have something on that's going to shake. You want a nice posture, very regal, and you should be regal. You are a queen When you are doing burlesque, you are a queen. Walk with attitude to the front. 1, 2, 3. Low kick and back. 2, 3, and well, every girl needs at least one good kick in her closet, right? And never actually touching anything. But because you're showing it and enjoying it, they're thinking it's touching. And you can hit it and circle, hit it and circle. And you're just presenting them. It's like, well, look, of course. Don't all hips do this? From here, you get to do that really fun burlesque move where you step to the side and hands go down as you do that lovely plie.
Absolutely amazing. And the way you have everything on there, it's just so fun to look at. It's
Oh, good, good.
so, now, I know you said that you would be so gracious as to show us some moves. So can you explain what you're going to show to us in person?
Well, just little simple things you can do at home and try out. I do actually a move every week, something I call the Monday move that I put online. It's on YouTube. So if you follow my channel, subscribe to it, or even if you follow me on Facebook, I post it there, or LinkedIn, LinkedIn's wonderful too. And Instagram, you have to click for the full thing. But
I'll put this up so people can copy that down, whichever way they prefer to follow you.
Yeah. But so what I do is I show you one little move you can try at home or with your friends online when you're having girls' night and you're having wine or whatever, whatever inspiration strikes. And some of them are quite good as far as fitness goes, especially core fitness. Burlesque is wonderful for core fitness.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll show you a couple things that are simply fun, sexy burlesque, and then a couple that are more fitness kind of minded for those of you who want something different than just, the normal, okay, let's count down from 8, 7, 6, 5, like it's a bit old after a while. So
something fun. You're going to show us how to have fun.
Yes, absolutely, right? Life is about fun.
Yes.
So the first thing you want to do really is just warm up a little bit. Make sure your body is a bit warm if you haven't done anything else, if you haven't done any stretching. So just, do some head rolls and do some shoulders, do the rib cage. This is really kind of a fun, challenging one. If you put your hands just very lightly on the creases of your legs and your hips and try to isolate your ribs side to side, just lift, lengthen your spine and lift, and then try and move it over. Somebody's just pushing you over and pushing you
that actually
over.
Good. That's stretch.
And you'll get a nice stretch through here. And you do it slowly to kind of stretch out. And then you can push it forwards and then contract it in. So it's a contract and release. There's your release and there's your contract. For those who do yoga, it's very familiar, right? Cat cow.
This is good.
Yeah. And then move to the hips. And I'll back up just a bit here so you can see.
Great.
Have your feet parallel underneath you and a little bit of bend in the knees. That's a big tip. Anytime you want your hips to do something, always bend your knees, just a bit anyway, even if you're in high heels. Actually, especially if you're in high heels, it helps. And have your arms just out a bit so that they're away and you've got plenty of room to play. Yeah, and then what you want to do is just move the hips the same way you did the rib cage.
And in my chair, you can even do
You can, yeah. Nice and easy, and just get a nice stretch through here for each side. You might even feel it in the IT band. And then tuck it to the front, and we get to use that muscle that we always want to work on as women, right?
Yes.
And then relax it to the center. And usually most people, we don't really realize it unless it's pointed out to us or unless you've been in dance training. When you think you're in the center, you're actually kind of to the back a bit. So really try and keep your straight spine there, and then go to the back a bit and to the center, and then tuck it front and to the center. And just doing that will give you a nice little bit of a tummy workout, which is a nice thing to do.
And that's where so many need
getting that
lifting and muscle tightening. My
Absolutely.
That's
It
what I'm
hits
talking
everybody.
about.
It hits everybody, trust me. Especially if you like to indulge in a bit of wine. So, and you know, we've been doing a bit of that during COVID, right? So
Oh, yeah, there you go.
so that's a good thing to just kind of start off and get yourself loosened up and start learning how to isolate parts of your body. And that, the isolation, is half the battle in any form of dancing, really, if you want to make an impact, and especially in burlesque, because it's all about that hip or, you know, the shoulder or the roll. You know, it's the one thing that the audience focuses on that makes it so sexy and makes it so playful, really.
Yeah.
So just think of isolating things. Then we've all heard the term bump and grind, right?
Oh
From
God, I used
classic
to love that.
old school burlesque. It's all about the bump and grind. Well, this is your bump and grind. Your bump is the hip, where you're just bumping it. Like you're going to bump something that's right there and you're just going to knock it out of the way with a bit of force. You know, it's kind of like a punch. And then if you've got something down here that's going to move, like fringe or tassels or, you know, sequins that are loose or whatever, boom, they'll go boom and really accent it, which makes it a lot of fun.
That's like the belly dancers. I guess that's why they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. They do it a bit more to
Yeah.
the front usually. And then there's also a swing down. I do a tiny bit of belly dancing, but just for fun.
Yeah.
And also in Tahitian dancing, which I teach. And that's your hits in Tahitian dancing where those tassels fly, boom, 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 and like that.
Wow.
So there's your bump and grind.
Yeah. And I used to dance that way when I was younger. It's the only way I knew how to dance was with the
Yeah.
right.
And that's marvelous, you know, that's the get down, let's have some fun, you know, at the club or even out in the street when somebody's got a good radio going and you
Yes.
yeah.
Dancing
So
is fun.
would you like me to show you the grind and then we'll
Oh yes, you do.
yeah.
Yeah, get back a little bit
Oh,
more.
no.
Let's see.
Here we go. Back.
Yeah, let's see.
How's
Really
that?
grind,
Okay.
baby.
You're a marvelous audience, I tell you. I love you. You're great. Tip your waiters and waitresses. No. Okay, so that's the bump of bump and grind. The grind, of course, is the circle. It's that lovely, juicy hip circle. And you hit all those corners going right around. And it's like stirring a pot with a spoon. If your body was a spoon and you're stirring the edges of the pot, getting all that deliciousness back down into the middle.
Wow.
And that's a good way to think of it. And that's the grind.
Yeah.
So you've got your bump and your grind. And there you go.
You know, you really make me long to go back to dancing because I do exercises, but I think that to do this, to dance is just so much better. It's enjoyable.
It is. And you get a good workout without even realizing it. You know, you have fun, right? It's a bit of a challenge just to get them over that hurdle, you know, like doing yoga or anything, stretching.
Now, wouldn't you agree that this is just amazing for women of any age? Because I'm a real stickler about it's never too late to start up anything. We have to be flexible and vibrant at any age. I'm 72
Yes.
and I've decided I can never get old. So
Fabulous.
do you think this is empowering and a lot of women could be doing this?
That is partly why I wanted to do this at home online class, because I heard from so many of my just lovely students who come to workshops that I do, you know, once in a while, all over the world, actually. And a lot of them are very timid about it. You know, they have some trepidation, they're not sure. And the main thing I think that stops women of any age is the fear of being judged. You know, am I going to look silly doing this? Am I going to look ridiculous? You know, what is somebody thinking about? Oh my God, my body is not the way her body is, you know, and we compare ourselves. And that's just disastrous. I mean, to your mental health, your emotional health, your happiness, you are you, you do you, you know, unless there is a health reason, you know, in which case, you know, find your answers and act on them, do something. But you know, some of us are a different shape, a different size. We have different, you know, ways our body has decided to present itself to the world. and
obviously, nutrition is very important to you as well.
Yes, Yes.
I could see by your skin and your body type. You do take care of yourself, not just with the dancing, but what you're putting into your body as well.
Yes, I was very fortunate to have a grandmother who was very nutritionally minded. She was an RN,
Oh, wow.
and way before, decades before anybody was talking about taking vitamins and supplements and, you know, how bad smoking was for you. You know, she knew all that. I was popping vitamin pills from the time I was 3 years old.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's, you know, wonderful that you had such a good role model.
Yeah,
Because
yes.
I'm from a generation and a part of the world where that's not what we did. And but the point is this: I learned later in life, and I take my supplements and do my workouts, and I'm enjoying. That's
Yeah,
why I
New
was asking you.
Zealand, actually, but
Fine.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I spend part of the time in the Southern Hemisphere, part of the time Northern Hemisphere,
Well,
and New Zealand is actually doing quite well right now. So I'm headed down there fairly soon, I think.
oh, okay. How has the summer been there? And with the everything going on, are people recouping nicely?
Yes, yes. The seasons are reversed, so it's been winter there. So it's been a little challenging, probably because of the normal cold and flu season, you know, for winter as far as the COVID thing goes. But really, they haven't had that many cases at all. They hit it hard, like really locked the country down hard when it first came,
Oh, well,
and that made a big difference.
yeah, that probably
Yeah,
was it.
yeah.
Well, this is amazing. Now, do you have any other tips you'd like to share, or something you'd like to leave us with?
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned the nutrition and the diet.
Yes.
I love to cook. I'm a hedonist when it comes right down to it. I love to cook. I love to drink good wine. I love to eat. I love to dance. I love to listen to great music. You know, all the things that bring you joy in your life.
Living,
So
live life
yes,
well.
absolutely, right. But I do believe in balance. Everything needs to be in the right balance, in the right percentage, you know, for you,
Yeah.
for whatever that is.
You even
So
have tips on your website for nutrition, don't you? And
I do. I do. I do a Wednesday wine thing where I'm actually certified as a wine person, so I decided to put that to good use.
I like that.
I'm a
I'm
geek.
certified to drink wine. Leave me alone.
I am. I know, it's so funny. I actually took courses in it because I was such a wine fanatic. So anyhow, I put it to good use. So I recommend a wine I'm drinking every week and give you a little mini review if anybody's interested. And then I follow that up with a nutrition sort of thing, with a food thing on Fridays. I do a dish or a meal I'm doing that is healthy and nutritious, and you know, somebody might want to try it out themselves or adopt it, or perhaps they forgot about it and went, oh well, there, yeah, I can always do that, you know.
I think that's
So
amazing. That is amazing. Well,
yeah.
I have loved that you've shared this with us and given us so much great information. And I would love, you know, for you to come back another time. Maybe in the new year, you can come back with some New Year tips for us and pointers.
Oh, I do. Actually, can I give you a teaser?
Oh, yes.
Because I just finished taping a new class, and it's actually more of a party than a class. It's
Oh,
specifically for bachelorette parties and hen parties, which is what they call it in the UK,
yeah.
and girls' nights. So even if you're doing it online, if you're doing it via Zoom, you know, you can each have this going, and it's fun. And it's a boa routine. You see all the boas behind me. They get put to good use,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
learn how
Oh,
to
I
play
noticed
with
those.
it.
I have a couple. Don't worry, I'm a goddess. I have
Good,
a couple.
good. I love that about you. And I love the sequin beret too. Very nice signature look. So look for that. It'll be on my website. I just need to do a bit of final editing and post the class. And that should be a really fun way to get the girls together and do
Is,
something different.
is it?
Or pull out anytime.
Wow. Well, Crystal, thank you. I have really appreciated this and loved this, and it's been so enjoyable talking to you. Our time is up now, so we're going to say goodbye. But I will let you know when the show is up. And
Okay.
have a lovely day, which I know you will. And I wish for everyone to stay healthy. And remember, everybody, my message always is support your immune system. We only get one per customer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So thank you. I'll see you again. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Marguerite. Mwah.
Bye-bye.